Hi everybody, my name is Rhys Barber. I'm one of the audiologists here at Audiology Associates.
And my name is Taylor Green, and welcome to another video where I am starting again.
I know.
It's another patient of mine. We've got a very deep plug of skin and wax again. Now what you'll see here in a second, so I'm starting at the very bottom here, trying to grab the first contact of skin that we can see. You can see how thick that is underneath by looking at how white that actually is. But what we're actually going to do here is I'm trying to loosen and peel this away as much as I can off the ear canal. Now you'll see me change position in a second. So I'm trying to avoid that little flap that's come away. But we're going to grip this now a little bit further towards the top of the plug. My thought process again with this bit is if this is more loose around the sides towards the top, this should start pulling forwards once we get a good grip. We're just trying to get a grip there, which is the
it's difficult when it slopes back. Oh, there you've
yeah,
got it.
There we go. We've managed to get it. So you can see that. Well, as you've just said before we start, which is a really good one actually. We've almost used that thick skin underneath as a sledge, as you said. You know, just kind of helping it to slide forwards.
It does work because sometimes that keratin skin is detached so long, isn't it? And if you just grab the edge of it, and it's because it's so tough, it'll pull the whole thing.
Yeah. No, you can see we've got quite a bendy, I wouldn't really call it a narrow ear canal, but we've got quite a bend to the start of this ear canal. So you can just kind of see me fighting trying to get it through that little gap.
A shimmy.
A shimmy,
you
yeah.
Shimmied it out.
Shimmied it out, yeah, I did. Now, there's a little kind of sort of staining of oil you can see at the bottom there, and right at that little, flexible part just above the malleus there. I'm going to leave that a little bit where it is. This patient was quite nervous coming in to see me to start with, so I didn't want to do any of the more risky procedures. I wanted to just keep it as simple as possible for this particular patient. First time having wax removed as well, which is yeah, I'm quite surprised that they haven't had it done previously, to be honest. But quite a young patient as well, I believe, if I can remember this one. Early 30s.
Oh, that's quite young for most wax problems, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's another good layer of keratin under that one, isn't it? Look at that.
Oh, a little bit of a wiggle again. You can see I had to turn the brightness up actually on this one so I could see a bit more clearly into the ear. But we've got another piece that's just left behind. So sometimes these pieces, one of the symptoms you may get, so if you're having any issues with the ears, especially regarding wax, if you're not quite sure if it is wax, obviously we would encourage you to book in with an audiologist to get them checked out, or you can, join our bio, or click onto our bio, click onto the website, and you can book yourselves in to see myself or the fabulous Mr. Rhys Barber.
My goodness me.
But yeah, we've gone on a tangent here now, so that's the website. But one of the symptoms you'll get, especially if it's a little bit harder like this, you'll tend to find you may have some pressure building up inside the ear. And it can sometimes be a little bit painful. You may get some shooting pains, or sometimes underneath the ear here, you'll get some discomfort when you're feeling underneath there as well. So if you do have that, get your ears checked. Just get them looked at.
Oh, you can see that sort of that anterior recess. Now we know it's an anterior recess because the malleus is going that way, so it's in front of the malleus. That was quite pronounced, like a kidney bean shape almost down there, wasn't it? Yeah.
There we go.
Inch.
Yeah, you can see how dark it is as well. I mean, that's just a sign of how long that's been in there for. So it's a pretty old one.
This is mine. This one. It is a little bit like custard, this one. It's a very soft one, this one. Patient came through, this is actually something I saw yesterday, came through, you can see very different to Taylor's, very soft kind of wax, but with that keratin layer underneath, you can see that layer of skin, that dead skin that's turned over, so very keratinous there, and it's pulling this out, like the sledge that Taylor just talked about, just pulling that away, getting a grip on the skin and using the skin against the plug of wax there. You'll see it lift. Oh, wow, that leapt onto that. That wanted to be taken out, that one.
Just made that look so easy.
Flung itself.
You just made that look so easy. Yeah,
it's still been doing this for 45 years. You can see it coming out now. We've just got this edge piece here. Now the keen-eyed amongst you will see little spots on the eardrum. That's not indicative of anything, there's nothing wrong there. You do get these little patches of dry skin. It doesn't mean there's anything in there that's causing any problems. But you can see on this one here that that's not completely blocked up. But patient elected for us to get this out as well. But this is mostly skin, and you'll see that as we pull it away now. Look at this coming away. It's almost kind of, you imagine the sort of slurping noises as it gets sucked in. Yeah, that's the sort of, imagine sucking milkshake through a straw and getting to the end of it. That's the kind of sound you get inside the ear canal here.
Problem is they're all paper straws now. So, but if you leave your milkshake for too long,
you can't
get anything out of it. You start sucking in the paper.
So I've had to use a fine end on this one just to get to this last bit, just to minimise any risk of clarinetting as well. That sharp, high-pitched sound you can get coming through sometimes when skin gets sucked into the machine here. Don't forget, guys, if you do enjoy the videos, you could always like, share, heart, follow, subscribe for me. Any problems with your ears, go to the bio, check out our channel page, check out a link. Book yourself an appointment, come and see us, and we will get that sorted out for you. Or what do you want to do, inches or centimetres?
You kind of in between on these ones. That's 1 and I would say 1 3/4 centimetres.
Yeah, I'm going to go with just over half an inch on that one. Yeah. But actually, you might be able to go just under 3/4 of an inch. This is you again, isn't it? Oh, can we just update everyone that we have ordered Taylor a new camera, because we got a lot of stick in the comments saying that Taylor should have a superior camera. Taylor now has the far more superior camera than mine, so he's got a better camera than me now.
But they do look very similar.
They do. Yeah, we're going to have to start putting our names in the corner to work out who's done which one, otherwise.
But it's not going to be for another couple of videos time, because we are kind of going over some of the ones that we've saved recently. Yeah. So the next couple of videos, the next few days that you're going to see the videos, it is going to be the less superior, the inferior camera,
and then the far more superior camera will be making an appearance anytime soon. This is a tough one, buddy. This is not a good one, is it?
Grab yourself some popcorn and a drink for this one, guys. It's quite a long one. You can see it. I think this is the standard size on the tube that we've got here. Now the reason I've stuck with this one is just purely because of the suction power. But we've got a very, very narrow ear canal here. I'm actually fighting the ear canal. I'm trying to hold this ear canal open while I'm trying to get a grip here.
It's tough as well, isn't it? It's brittle, that plug.
Yeah, very, very tricky ones to do.
It's not. You've got to. I think it's because you've got to hold the canal open and maintain the grip and try and pull it through a narrow section. So a lot of the time the wax plug will be wider than the actual canal itself. So the canal wants to naturally wrap back around that plug, the entrance to the canal does anyway, doesn't it? Yeah,
and it's trying to juggle everything, holding it open, holding the camera still, using the Zollner tube in the other hand, trying to precisionally move the wax in around these bends. It's a skill in itself, to be honest. It's really, really tricky to do in some cases, but
you could do it like an ear minion that would just kind of hold the ear open so it makes it a bit easier to get in there.
Yeah, we should get like little clips or like an elastic band and just clip the back of the ears, and so you can just pull them back.
Like you see what they do with their face.
It's a trademark. That is a trademark. Have you ever seen anything?
There's a gap in the market there, I'm telling you. Ear clips.
You've heard it here first.
Yeah, you see. You could sell it at Star Trek conventions for Vulcans, couldn't you? Romulans.
So we're getting a little bit of progress here. Now we're starting to break a little bit, so you can see how frustrated I am with this.
It's tough, isn't it? And you do get, you try not to get, because you really want to get it out and it just doesn't want to come easily, does it?
It looks like I'm moving quite a lot, but if you've ever seen this being done in person, we're actually kind of moving like this, very, very little. Yeah, like we're getting bits away, we're getting there slowly. You can see just how hard this kind of deeper section is. The whole thing, you can see it just starting to move slightly. This bit at the bottom where it's a little bit more on the soft side, that's just where the patient's been using some oil. So obviously the oil hasn't been able to come into contact with that core, that deeper section of the wax.
I don't envy you on this one. This would be a real old.
Yeah, we are. Look, you can see how freely this is moving. So you're probably screaming at me right now, saying, "Get the Jobson horn in there," or get your Rosen inserter in there. But the problem we'll have, it's so narrow, you can see there, I mean, maneuvering the manual tools in there to start with is trouble by itself. It's very, very difficult to do, because they're still, quite flexible,
It's
these
getting
tools.
the angle as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's getting the angle, and
the mobility of the wax.
With it moving so freely as well, we would have risked pushing that in further, which is just going to start the job all over again. We're going to be back to square one. So
don't forget, it's taken us 20 minutes to get to this point. If we push it back in, it's going to take us 20 minutes to get back out.
All right.
I said we, I didn't mean that first.
Well, here we go. Look, so you can see what we've got here. We've got a little retraction pocket, which is the arrow you've seen at the top, and you can see there's the arrow at the underneath. Now that kind of goldy sort of colour you've seen there is a little bit of middle ear effusion. So effusion being classed as fluid, so middle ear fluid. Very common.
Especially when you have retraction pockets like that, because you've got reduced middle ear pressure, haven't you? So it's drawing that fluid into the middle ear space anyway. Yeah,
very, very common as well. I mean, especially when seasons are changing, we tend to see more people that are getting colds and flus, and it is more commonly associated with colds. So you may get your audiologist ask you, have you had any colds recently? It's a bit of a random question when you're coming in to have your ears checked, but it just kind of gives us a little bit of an idea on what might be going on. So this one obviously comes out a little bit easier for us. We're super mega turbo wiggling by here, trying to get us. I probably have wiggled. I probably have wiggled a bit more on some of those, to be fair, but
it's coming away nicely though. It's coming, it did come away cleanly compared to the other side.
Yeah,
it looks a bit more. You've got a slightly wider canal on this one, the entrance.
I think that's why we were finding this one a bit easier. So this is the fine end here now. So this is the smaller suction tube, just to clean and tidy up these last little bits that are around the edges.
It looks dull, doesn't it, that eardrum, compared to the other side as well.
So, this particular patient, especially the ear with the middle ear fluid, again, one of the symptoms of it is feeling blocked up. And some people may describe it as feeling underwater, which technically you are, because your ear is full of fluid. They can solve themselves. Doesn't always happen. It's not a guarantee.
It can take a little while as well. It's usually about 8 to 10 weeks for that to fully resolve for a lot of patients. Yeah, it is.
But we would always encourage you to book an appointment with your GP just to try and get a treatment for it. But your audiologist can see it.
Sometimes they'll prescribe like a steroid nasal spray, which will help just take any sort of puffiness to the soft tissues in the nasopharynx or behind your nose, which is where the eustachian tube opens up, which is what equalizes the pressure and drains the fluid. So sometimes they'll give you a course of steroid nasal spray just to help to alleviate some of those symptoms a bit.
And popping and crackling can be normal in your ears as well. So don't, it's not a problem with the ears. Popping and crackling can be normal. But it also can be wax.
And weirdly, middle ear effusion and wax give you very, very similar symptoms a lot of the time. We see a lot of people coming over the winter when there's colds and are more rife, and they're coming in thinking they got wax problems. It's actually middle ear effusion problems.
Yeah, great.
You starting this off?
Yes, so thank you very much, guys, for watching the video, and don't forget to take care of yourselves.
Take care of your ears.
And take care of one another. And we'll see you again real soon. Don't leave me hanging. Don't leave me hanging. Don't leave me hanging.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
No, I thought you were off. I thought you were turning the mic for me to say the last bit. I was thinking, there's no mic there. Okay.
We'll see you on the next one, guys.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you.